The moment the words slipped out of my mouth, the air in the living room changed. Sharp, cold, and suffocating. I swear, I laughed, lifting my wine glass. If Daniel were here tonight, I'd run away with him. It was supposed to be a joke. A stupid, careless joke meant to make our friends laugh. And they did, nervous chuckles, forced smiles. But my husband, Aaron, didn't laugh. He didn't even blink. He just stared at me, silent and unreadable. His jaw tightening so slowly it was almost painful to watch. It wasn't anger in his eyes. It was something worse, recognition. And in that second I knew. He knew. The evening ended awkwardly, with people grabbing their jackets faster than they ever had before. The laughter died early, conversations cut short, and everyone avoided eye contact with us, as if my words were a grenade that had just landed on the coffee table. The door closed behind the last guest. Silence flooded the house. Aaron didn't look at me, didn't speak, didn't move. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding. "Aaron," I whispered. He lifted his eyes, and I almost took a step back. They were glossy, not with tears, but with a kind of hurt that was too deep to show itself openly. "Who is he?" His voice was quiet, controlled, terrifyingly calm. I swallowed. "Aaron, it was a joke." "Don't," he said, shaking his head. "Don't insult me like that. Not after everything." His voice cracked on that last word, and it shattered something inside me. I wanted to reach for him, but he stepped away. "Tell me the truth, Emma. Please." And so the unraveling began. Daniel wasn't a stranger. He was familiar. Too familiar. Coworker. Friend. A man whose attention felt flattering, exciting, like a spark I didn't want but didn't push away fast enough. There had been messages. Late-night conversations. Emotional intimacy I should have reserved for my husband. But I had crossed a line before realizing I was even standing at one. Nothing physical. Nothing technically disqualifying. But betrayal doesn't always need touch. Sometimes it grows in silence. In the unanswered texts from your husband, the quick replies to the wrong person, the emotional warmth that shifts from one place to another. And Aaron had felt it long before I understood it myself. "I didn't cheat," I whispered, tears burning my eyes. Aaron exhaled a shaky breath and sat on the couch, burying his face in his hands. "Do you think that helps? Do you think that makes this hurt less?" I stood there, stomach twisted, words dying in my throat. He looked up at me again. "You joked so casually about running away with him. Like the idea wasn't completely foreign to you. Like it had crossed your mind before." His voice was hollow. "Has it?" I felt myself breaking. "I never meant for anything. That's not what I asked." Silence sat heavy between us. Had I thought about it? Even fleetingly? Not seriously. Not realistically. But in those moments of attention, when marriage felt routine and work felt draining, when Daniel's compliments were easy and Aaron's were quieter, a thought had existed. Stupid, dangerous, guilty thought. And Aaron saw the truth in my hesitation. He nodded once. Low. Devastated. "Okay," he whispered. "That's all I needed to know." The next morning was worse. Aaron woke before dawn. I heard him moving around the closet, the soft thud of drawers closing, the rustle of clothes. I found him packing a small duffel bag. Fear stabbed through me. "Aaron, where are you going?" He didn't look up. "I need space. Need air. I can't breathe here right now." "Aaron, please." "Emma," he said, turning to face me. "I can't be in the same house with someone who doesn't know if she wants to stay." The words slammed into my chest. "It was thoughts," I whispered desperately. "Just thoughts. They meant nothing." "To you," he said. "To you maybe they meant nothing. But to me, they were real enough that I felt you slipping away." A tear rolled down my cheek. "I didn't slip. I didn't go anywhere." He stared at me, really stared. "Yes, you did. You left the moment you found excitement somewhere else." His voice broke. "And the worst part, I kept waiting for you to come back." The house felt like a tomb after he left. Every room held echoes of him. The coffee mug he always used, the jacket he draped over the dining chair, the half-finished puzzle on the table we had promised to complete someday. And now, someday, felt like it had already passed. I wanted to call him, text him, beg him to come home. But I also knew space was the only thing keeping this from turning into a complete disaster. So I sat on the living room floor, knees pulled to my chest, tears sliding silently down my face. How had I let things get this far? How had I taken the soft, steady love of a man like Aaron and traded pieces of it for fleeting attention from someone who never held my heart? I didn't have answers, only regret and dread, because I didn't know if Aaron would come back the same man who left. 3 days passed. 3 days of silence. On the 4th day, a text finally came. We need to talk. I'll be home at 7. My stomach twisted painfully. I spent the entire day pacing, rehearsing words, deleting them, rehearsing again. Nothing felt right. 7:02 p.m. The door opened. Aaron looked exhausted. Dark circles under his eyes. Shoulders tense. But there was something else in his expression. Resolve. He sat down across from me. I braced myself. Emma. I've thought about this a lot, he began. My breath caught. When I married you, I knew relationships had ups and downs. I knew attraction happens. I knew people get lonely or lost or confused. He paused. But I never thought I'd be standing here questioning whether I'm enough. Aaron. No. Let me finish. His voice cracked. I love you. God, I love you so much it keeps me awake at night. But love isn't supposed to feel one-sided. It hasn't been. It felt that way. Silence. He let out a long breath. I'm not going to make you choose right now. I'm not going to beg. But I need honesty, Emma. Complete honesty. Do you want this marriage? Do you want me? The room seemed to hold its breath. My voice trembled. Yes, I want you. I've always wanted you. I was stupid and insecure. And I let attention fill cracks I didn't even realize were there. Tears blurred my vision. But it was never him. It was never anyone but you. Aaron looked away, his jaw tightening. Then why did it take almost losing me to realize that? I didn't answer. 'Cause the truth hurt. Because it shouldn't have taken that. Because sometimes we recognize the value of what we have only when its absence becomes unbearable. He rubbed his eyes. I'm willing to try. But things will be different. We need rebuilding. Clarity. Transparency. Maybe counseling. Maybe time. Anything, I whispered. Anything you need. He nodded, still not meeting my gaze. I'm not forgiving you today. I'm not sure when I will. But I'm here. That's all I can give right now. And somehow that was enough. 'Cause it wasn't goodbye. Not yet.
The first step toward healing wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a kiss or an apology or a revelation. It was small. Quiet. Aaron Andy sat down on the couch, feet apart, ears bruised, but present. A fragile, shaky piece filled the space between us. For the first time in a long time, I felt the real weight of love, heavy, imperfect, but worth fighting for. I reached out, slow, hesitant. Aaron hesitated too. But then took my hand. And even though there was pain, deep, lingering pain, in that touch, there was also something else. A beginning. Not the same beginning we once had. A new one. Born from truth. From damage. From the quiet promise that even broken things can be rebuilt. If the people holding them refuse to let go. And for the first time since that awful joke left my lips, the room finally felt warm again.